Good evening and welcome to your favorite show, Know Your Leader. For Ilongkore, where we get to talk. Sorry, can you take it? Good evening and welcome to your favorite show on New Inferno Television, Know Your Leader, where we get to interact with the leaders around the province Mo Yarona Northwest. Today we are in studio with Koketso Rakhudu, who is going to tell us more about himself and what he stands for. Koketso, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Nyakalo, and let me take this opportunity and thank you guys for inviting me here in your show today. I'm really honored to be part of the show of Know Your Leader. Thank you very much.
So can we get to it? Can you tell us Koketso, how Koketso Rakhudu?
Okay, I describe myself as a flap. Now, before I can tell you what does the flap stands for, I'm from a community of Sitting. I was born and bred there, and one of the chiefs of the Royal African Nations. Now, I describe Koketso Rakhudu as a flap. Flap, it's a four-word. Now, number F stands for follow, meaning I follow. You know, as the Royal African Nations, we've got the values and the norms that we abide to as leaders. Now, I tend to follow the instructions that we are given, and then for us to be able to cascade them to make sure that we develop our communities. Now, after following, I need to, the second letter is L, because it's a flap, it's love. I love what I do, and it first has to start with me first. So I love what I do, and then having to love what I do, it's able for me to take out the love that I have and put it and apply it in everything that I do for my community. And A stands for accept. You know, as young as I am, you know, there are promises that we make, or there are plans that we make as young people, as young leaders, in order to develop our communities. Therefore, I accept anything that I failed to do. But the most important thing is that I learn from that failure that I failed to do for my community. And P stands for professor. I describe myself as a professor. Everything that I do, I make sure that I do it as a professor. How I talk to the people, how I relate to them, you know, all of that. So I do it like a professor. So that's how I would describe Koketso Rakhudu.
Okay, that's quite interesting. Can you also tell us, Koketso, you were raised by your mother, or what is it? Give us a brief background of your childhood.
I grew up in a community of Sitting, and at the age of 5 years, I had to move to my grandmother's place, and that's where I learned a lot of things, or that's where I discovered that, you know what, I'm called to be a leader. That's why I discovered that I've got a gift of being a leader. There was a time when I was at my grandfather. I grew up with my grandmother, and my mom was working at Johannesburg, you know, as a general worker there. And then I grew up with my grandmother, and one thing that I've learned in a community of Lefarakhatla, because that's where actually my childhood I began to really mold my character in a way that it channels me in a way that I really become responsible. Now, having to go with a grandmother and my mother in Johannesburg, you know, as a child, when you're living with grandparents, there are a lot of things that you cannot get. Situation, or you need to create the best out of what you have. Now, I had to learn that from the age of 5 years. Now, when I grew up, going back to Sitting, now going to Sitting Primary School, going to Matsugibiani Secondary School, and ended up in HF Klo, and I went to Bafokeng Secondary School. I always knew that, you know, this is what God has called me to do, but I did not have a right opportunity to execute it. Yeah.
It's quite interesting that you mentioned God. When we were still here talking about we are going to have guest Koketso Rakhudu, I looked it up and I found out that we actually go to the same church. Right. So you speak so profoundly of God. I just want to know what is what is your religious background?
I grew up in a very Christianity family where I was taught how to pray, where I was taught that in every situation, God first, regardless of what, whether in good or in bad times. I grew up, in a family where each and every Wednesday we would gather as a family and we would pray as a family. Now that, I grew up with that mentality. Even if going to university, moving from Rustenburg, I always knew that prayer is a tool. I was taught that prayer is a tool that I can use to create anything that I want to have in life. So that is why even people today would ask you, how do you do it? I would say prayer is a substance that sustains me as an individual. So I grew up in a very prayerful family where we believed in prayer. Even this day up until today, we still believe in prayer because I get so emotional when I talk about this because we are where I am, or we are where we are as a family today because of what God has done in our life. So prayer, it's one of the tools that I was taught growing up to say, whatever that you do, make sure that you involve God.
Yeah, I think I can attest to that because, as I said, we go to the same church, and on this previous week we had we had a convocation.
Oh my word!
So I was actually sitting right behind you. I was with my aunt, and we were talking about what a fashionista you are, because every single day you come up dressed as you came now. You come up like dressed to the nines. Is it anything that you plan? Do you plan your wardrobe, or do you like say, look, I have to look presentable every day of my life?
One of the values that I believe in as a leader is culture. Now, culture. One thing that I've learned about culture is that culture is a glue that holds or bring the community together. And having to grow under a chieftaincy family, I had to learn that, you know what, there's only one thing that I can win my family over. It's for me to be able to win the trust of my community. It's for me to really respect the culture of the people. Now, I grew up loving, I developed that feeling to say, now I want to start wearing culture, because when I'm wearing, I'm able to describe myself. I'm able to talk to people when I'm wearing traditional clothes. I feel comfortable wearing traditional outfits. Then when I stand before the congregation, I just flow, because now I'm at the mood that I'm who I am. I can, if people could say, why do you love culture? It's how I define myself.
And you also spoken about yourself being a Khosana.
Yes.
Yeah, can you tell us about that? Where does this come from? Like, were you born for it, or do you get elected? How did you become a Khosana?
Okay, yes, I'm Khosana of Sitting community, and I was born to be a Khosana. Now, you are not elected to be a Khosana. You need to be born from a royal family in order for you to become one of the chiefs. And my father was a Khosana. Then when he died, as a male child, I had to take over from him. So I took over the chieftaincy at the age of 20. That's when now I took over the chieftaincy, and this is my 5th year now in the chieftaincy. So you are not elected, you need to be born to become Khosana.
You're quite a young Khosana.
Yes.
Are there any challenges? I would want to assume the challenges with every leadership role. The challenges still facing as a Khosana, what are they?
There are quite a lot of challenges. But as I said, as I described myself at the beginning, that I describe myself as the flip. I accept a lot of things. You are criticized. You are looked down upon. All of those kind of things. But however, there are a lot of challenges that I come across to. Having to deal with counseling families. As a Khosana, you don't only focus on just being a leader. You are a police. You are a nurse, because there was a time, I remember this day when one granny called me at the middle of the night, said, we need your assistance we need 1, 2, 3. You understand? So I had to wake up, call the reaction force to come and assist. So I come across a lot of challenges. But as I said, I grow within that challenges. As the challenges approaches me, that's where now I grow as an individual and being able to say I can actually overcome this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are being, as a leader, you are being criticized and you are being looked down upon. Do you think there's any way it's because of the fact that you are a young leader, a young Khosana, or do you think it's all across the spectrum where the Khosana or our leaders get to face those kind of challenges? All
our leaders, they face the challenges that I'm facing. But if you know and you believe that it is God who has appointed you. Therefore, when you stand before the congregation, they don't even love you, because sometimes you stand before the people and someone will be busy with his or her own phone. You understand? But now, as a leader, you are not supposed to portray that in front of them, to say, I know that you don't love me, therefore I'm going to show you. You have a signature voice. Yeah. You have that signature voice where now you grab the people attention. Now and then when you realize that the people are here, right in front of you, then that's when now you start to address them the way you want to address them. Like for example, if there's a funeral in my community, at the end of the program we would say Puoga Khosan. And people are tired, but when you get and stand there, you keep quiet for a moment, and people will be, we want to see or want to hear what that young man wants to say to us. And immediately when they start to keep quiet, that's when now you start with your signature voice.
Yeah.
You say now you address them, and obviously now you grab their attention because they want to know. Okay, he's young. Let's see.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah. I think an interesting thing that you just mentioned about grabbing one's attention is one of the things that you did during the convocation. Because you always get called up to the podium to announce the news. And then as you get there, some of us are already tired. But once we hear your voice, because to be honest, I didn't know who you were, Khosana. I thought Khosana was your name because they always say Koketso, Rakhudu, Khosana. But I thought the name Khosana, Khosana was actually your name. Okay. So I'm trying to say, those announcements that you make, there's an event that's happening, Kosan City Linding. Well, I don't want to talk about now because we're not going to give it free promotion. Right. So I'm saying, I wasn't interested in it, how start, but once you got to the podium and you spoke about it, I was actually interested. I was like, maybe I can find and I can go there. So moving on, role as a Khosana go community, what is it?
My role is simple as Khosana is to make sure that I bring the community together. And for me to do that, it is only through one thing: culture. Respect the cultures, whether you are a ZCC, whether you are Christian, or whatever religion, where you are coming from, what you believe in. Bring those people together, and you will see unity in the community.
Some of the challenges still already raised it saying, how do you overcome the challenges the kind that you mentioned earlier on? Okay,
some I can mention, I'm on TV. But I pray about them. I pray about them, and I've elected people in my executive committee that when I'm facing certain challenges, I'm able to share with them. So these are the people that I trust with my life. These are the people that, when I'm with them, it is Koketso who is with them, not Khosana. So even if when they address me or they talk to me or they advise me, they would advise me as their son, not as their leader, because I've created that level of platform to say, I want to relate with them as their son, and I want them to relate to me as their mothers and as their fathers.
I'm actually very interested in your life as a Khosana. Okay. So these people that you seek advice from, are they people from within your family, or are they people that do they have to apply? That's what I want to know. Do they have to apply to be an advisor, ya Khosana, ya Kotsitsi, or what's the procedure there?
Okay, these are the people that fought for me to become a chief of the community. So it's family combined with the selected people from the communities, people who work with my father, people who know the history of Tsitsing, people who know where does Tsitsing come from, what happened for us to be the Khosana and all of that. So those are the kind of the people that I've drawn closer to my life, that I'm able to say, when you meet this kind of a challenge, what more do you do?
And who's your father?
Okay. My father is the late Randacha Jacob Rakhudu. I love my father so much. He's a civic leader. I've learned a lot from him. One thing that he taught me is that when you are in a platform, make sure that you take over. He taught me one thing, that after you have spoken, make sure that the second speaker that speaks after you, it's not going to be easy for him to just that flow after what you have spoken. So that's what my father taught me, to say, after you speak, make sure that no one else comes after what you have spoken. Yeah.
And your father is passed. Do you have any the qualities that do you possess any of the qualities that he possessed, especially as a Khosan?
Productivity. Productivity. He taught me about one thing: building a team of people. And not only building them, after you have built these people, he told me to give them the vision, let them run with it. So he taught me to lead from behind. So he would say, give these people the responsibility. And then when I watch them, when you are coming after them, so that when they fall, we are able to pick them up. Because leadership, it is not about a position, it is not about a competition, it is not about me to be known out there. It's about the influence and raising people who are like me. So today I'm excited because there are people that could stand on my behalf, and I could see myself in them. So that's what my father taught me, to say, lead from behind. And then when they fall, you are quickly able to lift them up because you are behind them. But let them run with the vision.
Do you have any young brothers, sisters? Do you have any siblings?
Yes, I'm from the family of four siblings. I've got 2 sisters and 1 brother, and I'm the last one of the family.
Is it? Yes. So your brother could not overtake.
No, could not take over.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. This is it's quite interesting because I'm trying to get as much as I can life, especially as a Khosana, as I said. What is your typical day as a Khosana? Like, from the moment that you wake up, what do you do?
I pray. That's the first thing that I do.
Okay.
I pray, and then I took an oath to my life to say, the first 3 places that I visit in the morning, they need to contribute to my vision.
Yeah.
So I prayed, and then I wake up, yes, I go to work, I go and do my community responsibility, but I make sure that the first 3 places that I visit in the morning, they contribute positively to my vision.
So you don't go about doing shopping, going to malls, strolling and doing all those kind of things. You just have to be where you are. Like, you always have to be a Khosana 24/7.
I have to. There's no way I can take a break. I want to be Koketso today.
do you ever take a break? Probably when you only sleep.
I do take a break. I'm young after all, so I take a break. I take a break, where I go out. Where I switch off my phone, and for a weekend I go there and I pray and I just rest. I don't do anything. I don't answer calls. I don't answer emails and all of that. Yeah.
When you switch off your phone and do that, do we have people that are going to say, for Khosan is not available? Can you call later?
Yes, I've got an assistant who does that. When I go out, I make sure that she has my phone and she's able to attend stuff on my behalf.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We are about to take a break now. Stay tuned. We will still be talking Le Khosana, Koketso, Rakhudu just after the break.
Why you wanna play with me just how you want? You wanna run about my feelings whenever you want. It don't work like that around here. 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 Need me? Why I never hear you say you need me, girl? In my feelings, you can never run my heart the way you want. Always thought you the one for me. Now I'm hitting you. Why you wanna play with me just how you want? You wanna run about my feelings whenever you want. It don't work like that around here. 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 Need me? Why I never hear you say you need me, girl? In my feelings, you can never run my heart the way you want. Always thought you the one for me. Now I'm hitting you. Why you wanna?
Welcome back to Know Your Leader on New Inferno Television. We are still sitting with Khosana Koketso Rakhudu. As we spoke before the break, he was telling us about upbringing and what is his role in the community is. Khonanu, we are going to delve a little bit into your community work. All right, and then we are going to talk about coffee with Koketso Rakhudu.
Okay.
What is that?
Okay, Coffee with Koketso Rakhudu is a social program designed to assist social change makers. Now, the reason why coffee had a reputation, even today, it still have a reputation of new ideas and innovation. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to create Coffee with Koketso Rakhudu. The reason why I created Coffee, or I initiated Coffee with Koketso Rakhudu, is that a lot of people requested, say, can you assist us with 1, 2, 3, can you come and speak at our, because I'm in a field of social, you know, I'm a social entrepreneur, so I'll get invited to say, can you come and assist with 1, 2, 3 with the experience that we have? And I said, you know what, let me offer a program called Coffee with Koketso Rakhudu. And in this Coffee, where I invite the expert to come, like your accountant, your lawyers, and all of this expertise in their industries, to come and assist the social change makers. To say, even though you are running as an NPO or an NGO, this does not mean that you're not supposed to make money, but you need to do it in a right way. Now, Coffee, whatever that we are doing, I'm saying to the people, to the social change makers, to say, okay, I see and I hear that you want me to assist you. Bring your idea, let's put your idea in the table, and we're going to apply Coffee principles. Now, Coffee C stands for creativity, where now you need to apply the creativity out of the idea that you initiated as a social entrepreneur. Now, the second letter is O, the opportunity. After you have created the creativity out of your idea, we look at the opportunities that we can link you up to, and what are the compliance that are needed in order for you to access those opportunities. And then letter F, the far side, meaning the vision. Where do you see your idea after this? Maybe we have assisted you to apply for a grant to offer a program, a learnership or an internship. Now, where do you see your idea after that? You know, the second letter is fruitful. How is it going to benefit you as an individual, you as a social maker, and then the people that you are going to, how is it going to benefit them? The fruitful part of it. What will be the end result of it? And then the second letter is the execution. Now we plan now, how are you going to execute this idea? And then the last thing now is excellence. We apply the principles of excellence. Let's make sure that whenever you go and apply your idea or your program as a social entrepreneur, as a social maker, to say, now let's apply the principle of execution.
You know, when I initially heard Girl Coffee with Koketso Rakhudu, I thought I would be invited to the royal house and have coffee with scones with the khosana.
That's what we plan to do now.
Okay.
Where now we need to buy coffee and then have a cup of coffee when we discuss certain issues related to the social economic development.
Okay, so with this coffee with khosana initiative, do you only assist your community or do you assist businesses, or what kind of people are you assisting?
Everyone who needs my services, we go to them. So we're not only focused in Tsitsing, we go all out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it doesn't in any way this initiative it's much of your time from being a khosana, because I would understand with the unemployment rate being sky high, right? People are rather advised probably take the business side. And so if I come to you with my business plan or with what I want to do for my business, doesn't it take away now from your role as a khosana?
No, I don't think so, because I've built sustainable systems for my community. Even if when I'm not there, I know that those systems, they still run on its own. So I'm able to go out. I can go for 2 months. I know I will still find my community the way it is because of the systems that I've built for my community. Yeah.
And how did this initiative come about? Who started it? Why did you think of assisting when people can easily go to your government departments? And why did you decide, this is what I want to do to help my community? Why did you decide to do that?
People would go to request help at certain department or certain sectors, and they wouldn't find help. Now, because now I'm a chief, I meet with a lot of departments, I meet with a lot of people. I said, you know what, maybe it's a great opportunity. The very same people that I meet with in the offices, let me take them to communities so that they can assist communities, because now it's not everyone who can afford to move from their homes to come to town or to go to town and access this kind of services. So that's why let me initiate coffee and register it as an NPO, and then I can request funds, and then I know that we are able to go to communities and assist the communities.
And is it a successful initiative?
It is a successful initiative.
How many people have come? The applicants studied but assistant with the funds, with the application in Zabona for the learnerships or bursaries. How many do you have? Just a number. Okay.
For now, we're dealing with we are busy with training people who want to be facilitators. These are the people that got a skill of teaching, but they don't have formal qualification. Now, I'm an RPL practitioner again. I did an RPL practitioner course. RPL stands for recognition of prior learning, meaning I assist people who've got a skill of doing certain things, but they don't have a formal qualification of doing it. So now we've got a lot of partners that would come and we would say, okay, this is what we've got maybe 25 young people from this community of this province that want to become teachers or that want to become facilitators. Because now I run an NPO called Koketso Foundation. We train these people, facilitators, we capacitate them, and then we send them out to our centers, and they become our facilitators at our centers, while we're still equipping them to become qualified facilitators so that they can also access other services. So I would say where we are now, I would rate this program maybe, let me say, 40 out of 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, and you've also spoken teaching, and I understand from my producers that you are a teacher by profession.
Yes, I am a teacher by profession. I did not do it because I've always wanted to change the lives of the people, but I did not know how to do it. I studied, I firstly started nursing. I applied for nursing immediately after my grade 12. I went for nursing for 12 months, and I said, this is not where I'm supposed to be, because I did not want to sit down with a patient, give them the medication and go. I said I wanted to spend time speaking to people. I want to spend time, getting to know what people are going through and how we can assist them. And teaching was just, a door for me. I said, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this full time. Yeah.
Okay. So you started teaching. You started nursing.
Yes.
There, and then you decided to quit. Was there any particular reason why you went to study nursing in the first place?
Hey, I think
was it the influence of parents or?
It was the influence of my sister Joyce.
Okay.
I love my sister, the firstborn of my mother.
Yeah.
I love her so much. She always inspired me. She's still a nurse even today. She inspires me even today with the kind of the work that she does. She does it wholeheartedly. She would bring all of the clinic stuff in the house. I was like, Paton, this lady. But she also inspired me. Then I like grade 12, in my high school times, and I said, as an I'm definitely going to do nursing.
Yeah. But and then you decided to.
I know when I got in the field.
I cannot be. Nurse. What changed?
When I got in the industry, the first 3 months it was awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, but I know how blue and white. And it went on, and I decided to say, you know what? Now I'm going to be teaching full time.
Because it seems to me, like throughout this interview, the recurrent thing for you is helping people.
Yeah.
I mean, you are a khosana, you deal with matata abatu. You are a teacher, you are a nurse. You deal with people. Now let's go into teaching.
Okay.
How did that come about?
I found my purpose while I was still studying nursing.
Yeah.
I found the reason why I exist, and that's why it was so easy for me to change courses just like that.
Yeah.
To leave nursing and go straight into teaching. So I found my purpose, and I said I want to go and help other people to find their purpose. Because when you find your purpose, you are free. You free your mind, you free yourself. Then you are able to be productive in life because you have found the reason why you exist.
Which school did you go to for teaching?
In Mafikeng, I went to Mafikeng.
Okay, and did you ever practice teaching? Do you have an experience in standing go classroom and children, this is 1 + 1 = 2. Do you have experience here teaching?
Yes, I've taught at Manabe High School. I've taught at JM for a very long time at JM, and then after JM, that's when I decided to resign from teaching, and I went to initiate I went not to initiate because Rakhudu Foundation was there, so I used to do it part time. Then there came the beginning of last year, and I decided, I'm leaving teaching full time. I'm going to invest my time, my energy into Koketso Foundation.
And I'm assuming you were quite a young teacher, as you are a young khosana.
Yes.
Now, I get to do you, like over the years, and especially in the Northwest, this year since the year started, we've had the incidences of violence in schools. As a teacher or a teacher by profession, or somebody who has had an experience in the classroom, what do you think about that? What is your take on the scourging violence between teachers, the altercations between teachers and learners they end up even killing each other? What is your take on that?
I don't condone what these kids are doing to teachers. However, it firstly starts at home, the background that we were born for. Now, one of the writers said, I quote him, he said, people behave the way they behave, or people do the things, what they do because of where they are coming from. Charity begins at home. So I think it firstly, it starts from home. Because now as a teacher, it is impossible for you to start to, it has to start from their home. So I think that's where it needs to start. Yeah.
The challenges that you're facing as a teacher, especially teaching go high school, because I'm assuming age gap between your students and yourself was not that huge. What were the challenges that you faced as a teacher?
Not really. I did not face any challenges when I was in high school. I had my best time in high school, and I created that platform where it was simple for my students to come and approach me to say, look, we're going through 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And one of the things that I enjoyed doing was taking pictures. Each and every class that I entered to, when I had to go to another class, I said, let's take a selfie. Then we took a selfie. So I enjoyed my time in high school. I enjoyed waking up and going to JM. You know, I would still do it. If they say, can you go back to JM? And I would definitely do it without even hesitation, without even thinking twice. I would just go there.
What subject did you teach?
Life sciences and English.
And because I've seen, I don't know if it's a trend or give the technique the teachers now, because now you would see on YouTube or all over social media, you would see teachers giving handshakes or doing that dance. I don't know. Did you have any kind of technique? You know, you trying to probably enjoy life sciences.
We do. I do have all of those techniques. We do.
Is it something that you come up with on your own, or do you need to sit down? What is it that you like, or how does it come about?
It's something that you need to initiate as a teacher to your students. You know, there was this particular time when I went into a class. I did not teach for the whole period. I was talking to the students. Let's talk, guys. What went wrong? How can we improve this? And that's when now these students begin to break out. Some of them, they literally cried in front of the other students because of the pain that they were going through or whatever that has happened to them. Now, when you teach a child and the child is free at heart, free at mind, it is easy for them to grasp whatever that you are teaching them, and they're able to excel. So it's something that you need to create, to initiate as a teacher.
And how was your relationship besides with the students? Because it seems to me it was a very fruitful relationship, because you end up taking selfies, which is, I believe, one of your techniques that you used to probably get attention. What was your relationship, especially as being your cousin? I'll keep mentioning your cousin. With your principals and your colleagues?
Oh, it was awesome. It was out of this world. I enjoyed working in that environment. You know, I felt at home. I was at peace. Whatever that I initiated, I got the support from the staff. It is so overwhelming. So I was at peace. I enjoyed working with those staff.
Was there any particular reason that, because you spoke about Jay and Zime go because
yes.
Was there any particular reason why you didn't go with where you stay?
I believe God directed me to JM. How I became a teacher in JM. I went to JM going to introduce the International Culture Exchange Program. And where now we hosted students from Germany, America, coming for the very first time in South Africa. And we looked at the schools around. I did not know anyone from JM by then. And then I went to JM, and then I said, I sent an email. They responded to my email. We scheduled an appointment, and we went there to say, JM, we want to bring Germany into your school without even you leaving South Africa to go to there. Say how? I said, no, I'm going to show you how simple it is. And then, you know, the community was excited. Even a lady from Mohasa volunteered to host this child. And this child, starting to learn Setswana, you know, a white person in a African school, you know, and then it just out of this world, you know, and then that's how I got into JM. There was a crisis of the life sciences teacher by then, and I said, oh, okay, let me just jump and help. And after that, I got a contract. Then I was employed, and I started working as a teacher. Go JM Zime.
Okay, and how long did you work there?
I think for 2.5 years.
And you went to another school?
After JM, I did not go to any other school.
Oh, and that's when you came back now?
I went to the Rakhudu Foundation.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I assume for with your experience as a teacher, were you in? Did you have those naughty children? What I want to get to is, were you a naughty learner during your high school days, especially?
Ooh. Yes, no. I was not a naughty child during my school times.
Is it just well behaved? Because I can't say I was a naughty child, but there was this one incident where I got where I couldn't go to school and I had to lie to my father because I wanted to see my father, but and then I ended up bunking class and I feel it's like no, school is not happening today. But that's what I wanted to find out. But can you keep that and then let's just shoot right to the short break and then we'll be back with Koketso Rakhudu.
Me just how you want. You wanna run about my feelings whenever you want. It don't work like that around here. It don't work like that. It don't work like that around here. 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 Need me. Why I never hear you say you need me, girl? In my feelings, you can never run my heart the way you want. Always thought you the one for me. Now I'm hitting you. Why you wanna play with me just how you want? Thought you the one for me. Now I'm hitting you. Why you wanna play with me just how you want? You wanna run about my feelings whenever you want. It don't work like that around here. It don't work like that. It don't work like that around here. 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 Need me. Why I never hear you say you need me, girl? In my feelings, you can never run my heart the way you want. Always thought you the one for me. Now I'm hitting you. Why you wanna play with me just how you want? You wanna run about my feelings whenever you want. It don't work like that around here. It don't work like that around here.
Welcome back to Know Your Leader. We are still chilling with Koketso Rakhudu, who's a Khosana Yako Tsitsi. Khosana, we were talking just before the break. Were you in anyhow in naughty child school?
I think every one of us passes through that. But I was the president of the RCL in my high school, and I got an access to have a direct relationship with the people that were responsible to make sure that students don't go out of the school premises. So whenever I wanted to go home, I would just go to them, can I take my handbag, and then I would take my school bag. I want to go home. I want to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
And then straight from your teaching profession, you went to form the Koketso Rakhudu Foundation.
Yes.
Foundation. Can you tell us a bit more about it?
Koketso Rakhudu Foundation is a registered community organization. Now it has 5 area focuses. Number 1, we've got the art and culture, which we are in partnership with Youth for Understanding. So this is where we host international students to disadvantaged communities. When we hold communities would volunteer to host the child for 12 months. And what we do, we take the very same international students, we place them in disadvantaged schools, and then we buy them uniform so that they can be allied with the other schools for that particular school that they are attending. Secondly, we've got the Skills and Small Business Development Program, which deals with all the skills, the technical skills. We are now preparing ourselves to register a technical school, where it's going to be a special school, but specializing with technical school, with technical sector for people who are not gifted in writing and all of that. So we're looking into that, and then we've got the leadership and training, where we train people about the leadership, especially the RCLs, where we target the labeled naughty kids of the schools, and we train them into becoming leaders so that they can keep the discipline of the school power and making sure that the school really performs. And then we've got the education and sports recreation program. This is the grade 12 program for people that they don't have a grade 12. So we can assist them to write the grade 12 program.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did this foundation come about?
God gave me this vision at the age of 15. Now my vision was to offer a one-year life development program to disadvantaged children that are sleeping on the streets. The reason why I volunteered at the age of 15, 16 when my school were closed, and I went to a particular old age. I went to volunteer there, and then it touched my heart to say, now why they are doing a great job. And I said, okay, I'm going to do a similar thing, but mine, I want to develop people for 12 months and send them out to the world. And now, there's all the programs that I'm doing now, they are meant for people who are disadvantaged, the raped people and all of it. Because now we're still building that vision. I said, let's expand it to the communities and open a community center where we are going to offer all these kind of programs. But the initial purpose of Koketso Foundation was mainly for disadvantaged people, the people who are sleeping on the streets. That's the main purpose for Koketso Foundation.
And you spoke about you also helping women. I'm not too sure if it's women. Is it only women or men who also get raped as well? Can they also get assistance from the foundation?
We don't have the capacity now to accommodate that kind of issues, but we are working our way there.
Okay. Yeah. And the success rate, your foundation, how is it looking like?
Well, this year God has been good. June 2019, on the 29th of June, we hosted our first graduations, and then we had 250 students who were graduating from a 3 months work readiness program. And then we made sure that on that day they wear gowns and we handed out belts to say, you can do this, it's possible. And we did it in a community. It was so nice.
And then what happens to them? After the graduation, do you place them, or do they have to now, your job is now completed as Koketso Foundation, or do you also get them placements?
We do. We do, and we're still even working on that to place all our graduates. And some of them, they even come and work with, they join the Koketso Foundation members.
The placement, is it with government, or is it public sectors or private sectors?
All the sectors that are related to the cause that they are doing.
Okay. Yeah. And so far, Baba, the 250 that you mentioned, how many have come back now to plow what you have Koketso Foundation? 10. You have 10, and the others have
that are full time.
Others have gone where?
Okay, others they are somewhere. But as I said, because this was the first successful program we ever had as the organization, we're still making sure that whatever opportunity that comes is going to be they are going to be our first priority. So now some of them now we are training them to become facilitators of our programs.
And then do we only consider ba Northwest, or do we consider Koketso, or do you consider within the local municipality, or
everyone is welcome?
Okay.
We've got 7 operational centers at the moment. Our head office it's in Klaseng. We've got a center in Titing, we've got a center in Monakato, we've got a center in Freedom Park, we've got a center in East London and Cape Town. Now they are fully functioning, all of these centers.
Oh, okay.
And now we're busy with breads. We are busy having we want to launch center number 8 that will be situated in the breads area.
Oh, okay. And then who now manages the centers?
Okay, I'm currently now serving as the national director for Koketso Foundation. I'm responsible to make sure that the centers, they run accordingly. Now we've got the center managers even now that are placed. Even now when I'm speaking, like now they are there at the different centers. They are running the centers.
I'm assuming these are the exact same people that have already graduated, or some of them are placed within in the management positions?
Some they are placed in the management positions. Like our head office in Classe, we've got the national structure. Now this national structure, they are responsible to make sure that all of our 7 centers, they go according to the plan, according to the schedule, according to the timelines that we have initiated. Yeah.
And then also Wilega, one of the key focus areas for Koketso Rakhudu Foundation in Arts and Culture. I think it's one of the first one that you mentioned. And then using that, give us about the Teaching Excellence Awards.
Okay, Teaching Excellence Awards, it's a program that we do as the community of teaching at the end of the year. When we close our travel meetings at the end of the year, we host Teaching Excellence Awards. Now, the purpose of Teaching Excellence Awards is to acknowledge the people who are really doing the best out of their lives, the people who are contributing towards the vision of making sure that teaching and the province becomes a better place. So at the end of the year, we hold the Teaching Excellence Awards, and we are looking forward to Teaching Excellence Awards 2nd annual on the 14th of November 2019.
And how did the Teaching Excellence Awards come about?
It came as an idea last year when we hosted the function. We wanted to close officially the year 2018, where we called all the organizations, we gathered them to give them a report. To say, this is what we have done, this is what we have achieved, this is what we failed to do, and these are the steps that we want to take in furthering whatever that we want to pursue as the community. And again, we sat down to say, now let's also appreciate the graduate within the community and people who are doing the difference with their lives. We invited them, and we also awarded them, and we initiated the certificate of appreciation. We also called the teaching religious faith-based organizations, all the churches where we called them to come, and we acknowledge them as the leadership of the community, say, we really applaud you and we thank you for the work that you are doing in terms of the spirituality being of the community.
As you mentioned, that what categories they are in this award?
Okay, firstly we've got the graduates, and the graduates, it's different sectors. Young people, like in Titi now we've got 4 qualified doctors that are qualified. So as a community, we need to celebrate them. You understand? The entrepreneurs, people who who did not give up on their idea, and their idea is generating money now, and we've seen it as the community. So it's sectors like that. The faith-based organizations, people who attended Lekgotla for the whole year without being absent, the best timekeeper of the year, the best contributor of the year, contributed both with comments, advices, and all. So we and also the executive committee that I serve with, I acknowledge them and I thank them for their hard work and their dedication and their accountability part of them for making sure that indeed teaching becomes a home of new ideas.
So, but when who take part in this award ceremony, how do you identify them?
We sit down as a community, as an executive committee of teaching, and then we draw up a list of categories that we want, and we would start making research within our community and also expanding out to say there are a lot of people that we know that they are associated with us. Some they don't even know us. Let's go out and call them on this day so that we can come and appreciate them for the work that they are doing.
Are you in any way going to call a New Inferno Television probably?
Definitely.
At the Excellence Awards and give them an appreciation
Definitely.
award?
It's one of our priorities.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So Kadi awards, and then what does the winner take home?
The appreciation certificate.
The appreciation
but
certificate.
At the we are planning to say we need to reward them with something tangible that they will always remember that that's what teaching have done.
But
for me.
also, I don't think it necessarily has to be something tangible. I think also the good just to know how your community appreciates you, they see your efforts. It's also quite comes back to you to say, Hore, if people are appreciating me, then it means, Hore, I'm doing good, I'm doing something good. Can we take it back a little, Khosana?
Okay.
Does Khosana have any children? Because we spoke and you told me you are from a family, you have 4 siblings. Do you have any children? Is the Khosana married? Your personal life, can we delve into it?
Okay, Khosana is single. I don't have any kids. I'm in my 20s. I'm in my 20s, 20 something.
Is the Khosana looking for someone?
Not at the moment.
All right. I was saying a bit earlier, your fashion sense, and I became a bit embarrassed when considering how casual I look, and this is you coming to the studio looking like that. Where do you take that, your fashion sense?
I believe it's a God-given thing. Whenever I'm invited to go and speak, I sit down and I design for myself. And I go to the tailor to say, Tailor, this is exactly what I want. So I design my own clothes and I take them to the tailor. And I'm thinking of opening a clothing line. I'm just busy with it. Before the end of November, I'll be done with the studio of clothing line.
Oh, interesting. And are you only going to be concentrating on the men line, or are you going to also to Oshebale Diabaros Abasadi, or was it
everyone
going to be looking like? Okay.
Everyone.
And what kind of fashion are we looking at? Your traditional attires or your
traditional attires?
Traditional attires. And okay, for some of us, probably some of us who look to people like you and want to follow in your footsteps, what is the message that you can relay?
The message that I can tell the people is that start now. There's no other better time to start. If you are doing something that you don't love doing, then quit. Do something that you love. I know you could be doing whatever that you are doing because of the security, or all of that, or your own reasons. But if you've got something that you want to do now, start now. Now is the perfect time to start. Don't ever postpone, start now.
Are you on any social media platform? How can people get a hold of you? Are you on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, anything? How can people get a hold of you?
Instagram, it's Koketso Rakhudu. Also at Twitter at Koketso Rakhudu. My Facebook name is Koketso Rakhudu, and Koketso Rakhudu.
Alright, and the foundations, like if people want to probably apply or to get assistance from you, how can people reach you?
We are now going to launch our online app. When our people can access us through that app, and we are busy with that at the moment.
Is it all right? All right. I'm assuming, Jorge, this is how you got to know your leader. If you have any questions, you have something that you would want to know more about Khosana Yarona, as he said, at Koketso Rakhudu on all social media platforms. I think that is where you can get all the contact information that you need, or all the information that you may need. For now, we are done. I think what you shared with us is highly appreciated.
Thank you.
Because for some of us, like the Khosana, we don't normally know how do we behave around the Khosana, but I think you have made that a bit easy, because you are an outgoing person, you are a very easy person. Because once I'm going to interview a Khosana, I was like, wow. But you made that a very an easy thing, and we really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
That is it for tonight, and on Know Your Leader, we'll be back again next week. Stay tuned on New Inferno Television for more interesting programs. Good night.
Thank you.
Why you wanna play with me just how you want? You wanna run around my village?